I am glad that I could see a lot of students online are coming up with the answers. I am really happy. Yes, now bladder urothelial carcinoma, true is. So, most common bladder tumor is transition cell carcinoma. Of course, you can have squamous cell carcinoma and adenocarcinoma. The common risk factors include smoking, naphthalene, aniline, acrolein. The parasite associated with development of transition carcinoma bladder is Schistosoma hematobium, drugs and cyclophosphamide. Squamous cell carcinoma, the same risk factors, but though schistosomiasis can result in both transitional and squamous cell carcinoma, it is more often associated with squamous cell carcinoma. It is a strong risk factor for development of squamous cell carcinoma bladder. So, the most common symptom would be painless hematuria. So, bladder urothelial carcinoma, true will be intermittent painless hematuria most common, yes. Bladder irritability syndrome, yes. Schistosomiasis most commonly result in transition cell carcinoma, no. Renal calculi is a predisposing factor, yes. So, the true other than the option 4, all the other 3 options are correct, true. The presence of RBC cast in the urine indicate the RBC is from, hematuria is from, when you find RBC cast in the urine. Yeah, for this you need to understand the cast formation. So, what are these casts? They are just impressions. So, how these impressions are made? Something like wax, which acts like wax, the Tom Hauswald protein, where it is formed in the tubules of the kidneys, nephrons, right. It is especially in the distal convoluted tubule and the collecting duct. Here is where Tom Hauswald protein is formed normally, in which certain cellular elements may get imprinted. So, impression will be formed, and that you can see in the urine as cast. So, when you have upper urinary tract bleeding, the features include cola colored, meaning it just gets altered. It has got time to come from upper tract to the bladder. It has time to get alteration of the morphology. So, it will be cola color, and then you have dysmorphic RBCs and red cell cast and proteinuria. So, all these features indicate that the bleeding is from upper urinary tract. So, Tom Hauswald protein, see, presence of protein in cast in urine does not suggest or the patient has got disease. So, cast can be present in both physiological and pathological conditions. What type of cast and the quantity is going to tell us the state of the patient. So, this is how you get to see a cast in the urine sediment. So, here you can see the dysmorphic RBCs, the normal morphology of the RBC is altered. This is what happens. Cells escape out of the, here in this example it is RBCs. So, RBCs escape out of the glomerulus, and when by the time they reach this part, this is the part where you get production of synthesis of Tom Hauswald protein. So, it acts like a wax, and these cells get pressed, and they form imprints on the on the protein and form cast, and those casts will be excreted in the urine, and you can see the cast under the microscope. So, hyaline casts are the most common cast. You can see them in physiological conditions and also in conditions causing physiological proteinuria. Up to 2 per high power field, low power field it is normal. Renal tubular epithelial cell cast. When do you expect renal tubular epithelial cell cast to be seen in the urine deposit? When do you expect renal tubular epithelial cell cast to be seen in the urine? When the tubular epithelial cells get damaged. When the tubular epithelial cells get damaged? Tubular necrosis, acute tubular necrosis. The tubular cells will be shed, and that will be taken and be pulled by the Tom Hauswald protein made into cast, and that will be seen in the urine deposit. So, anything that causes tubular damage will result in renal tubular epithelial cell cast, and granular cast can be seen in both physiological and pathological conditions, and granular cast are actually due to breaking down of cellular cast. Those epithelial cell casts, when they get broken down even further, that will result in you cannot find cells as such anymore. They will be broken down to granules. So, that is when you call it as granular cast. And when you have fine granular casts, you can have in physiological conditions. But when you find coarsely granular casts, that indicates renal parenchymal damage. Broad cast, usually cast will be of any length but of same diameter because of the same diameter of the tubules. But when you find broad cast, it indicates dilated tubules. Where do you get dilated tubules? Chronic renal failure, advanced renal failure rather. So, when you have broad cast, it means the patient has got advanced renal failure. Waxy cast meaning degeneration of fine granular cast. Granular cast are products of cellular cast, right? Tubular epithelial cell cast will become granular cast. When they have even more time to be broken down, they will result in waxy cast, which means that cells are staying in the nephron for a longer time, which means there is nephron obstruction, right. This is how a cast in the urine will look like. So, this is how they are formed. Epithelial cell cast, when it passes through the tubules, it may be degenerated further. It may have this fine granularity or coarse granularity. Coarse granular cast indicate parenchymal damage, and waxy cast indicate because they are it's taking a long time for the cast to enter the urine, enter the bladder, which means there is obstruction. That's what I am saying. Cellular cast, coarsely granular, finely granular, becoming waxy. So, the presence of RBC cast in urine sediment cytology indicate there is hematuria from the upper urinary tract. So, glomerular diseases, primary, secondary, hereditary, we have this long list. We will just see what all diseases will have nephritic picture. So, this acute proliferative glomerular nephritis, rapidly proliferative glomerular nephritis, MPGN, IgA nephropathy, SLE, and all these immune complex and ANCA positive vasculitis. That is what we have seen. Vasculitis affecting the glomerular basement membrane, causing the rupture, damage to the glomerular basement membrane, resulting in release of leakage of blood across the GBM. That will result in hematuria. Hematuria is a symptom of nephritic syndrome. So, anything that affects the GBM in particular will have nephritic picture. So, all these things, acute proliferative, RPGN, MPGN, IgA nephropathy, all these things will have predominantly nephritic picture. It does not mean they will have always nephritic picture. They can at any times can go in for nephrotic. At the same time, any disease when they start with nephrotic syndrome can go in for nephritic. We are just looking at the diseases causing predominantly, having predominantly nephritic or nephrotic picture. Again, what else is common between all these? Okay, we will come back to nephrotic, that time you know. So, apart from these, you have hereditary conditions, Alport's, thin basement membrane and Fabry disease will have nephritic blood picture. Nephrotic, so minimal change, membranous, FSGS, MPGN. So, and SLE, diabetes, amyloidosis, drugs, infections, all these things will result in nephrotic syndrome. Forget about SLE and MPGN in this list, right, and primary and secondary. All the rest will be example for, apart from this nephrotic. Very good, excellent. So, they will cause non-proliferative glomerulopathies. So, whichever is causing non-proliferation, they will result in, they are going to have nephrotic picture. Whichever has got proliferative picture, they are going to present with nephritic syndrome. Right? So, when there is proliferation of cells, the result is nephritic, and there is not much of proliferation or no proliferation, the result is nephrotic. When the visceral epithelial cells are affected, the picture will be, visceral epithelial cells are affected, nephrotic syndrome, proteinuria. When the glomerular basement membrane is affected, the result will be nephritic picture, right. So, the bottom line is MPG and SLE can have both nephrotic and nephritic picture. Now, tell me what else is common between MPGN type 1 and SLE? Where? Where do they have the deposit? Subendothelial location. So, these two can have, as they are in between the mesangium and the visceral epithelial cells, they can have both nephrotic and nephritic blood picture. No immune complex, no proliferation, the result is nephrotic syndrome. Immune complex and proliferation, the result is nephritic syndrome. So, we will have few rapid fire round questions. Genetic abnormality in Weger syndrome. Chromosome 11p, WT1, good. Wilms with pseudohermaphroditism. The syndrome is Denish-Drash syndrome. P53 mutation Wilms is associated with anaplasia with the resultant resistance to chemotherapy. In nephrotic syndrome, the protein synthesis of which proteins is increased? Fibrinogen. Why there is lipid cast? Because of hyperlipidemia. Why there is hyperlipidemia? Because of increased synthesis of lipoproteins. So, lipoproteins and fibrinogen level will be high. Good. I can see correct answers from the online students also. Too good. In steroid resistant nephrotic syndrome, the mutated protein is steroid resistant podosin. Good. They are very fast, yeah. Okay. The protein mutated in ARKD. The protein mutated in ADKD, ADPKD, polycystin 1 or polycystin 2. Very good. Endostreptosis antigen for post-streptococcal glomerular nephritis. How long it takes for the infection to cause glomerular nephritis? Very good. In PSGN, the hypercellularity is due to endothelial cells, mesangial cells, WBCs, at times the epithelial cells. Cast found in nephrotic syndrome are lipid cast or fatty cast. In PSGN, the complement levels will not be reduced beyond, you can expect the complement levels to be reduced only up to 6 to 8 weeks, not beyond that. Good. The initiating event in RPGN is starting event. Initiating event. Fibrin leaks because of GBM rupture. Super. Okay. Subepithelial deposits are seen in PSGN, RPGN and membranous. Membranous deposits are seen in Goodpasture's syndrome. I think I can give them some time. Anyway, they are coming up with the answers like this. Okay. Membranous deposits are seen in MPGN2 and Goodpastures. You have understood the concept, right? Why you get deposits these places. Subendothelial deposits are seen in SLE, MPGN type 1. Good. Because basically that when you go and read pathogens of MPGN type 1 is due to immune complex. MPGN type 3 is due to, I am not asking you about RPGN. Now we are talking about MPGN. MPGN type 1 is immune complex. MPGN type 2 is due to C3 nephritic factor. It is complement mediated damage, right? MPGN type 2 is. Anyway, I am happy that now you are able to come out with RPGN types very well. Okay. Mesangial deposits are seen in IgA nephropathy and HSP. Good. Dense deposit diseases MPGN type 2. Tram track appearance is seen in which type? Okay. Oh. Okay. You have seen all the answers, right? Okay. Tram track appearance is seen in MPGN type 1 and type 2. Just comment whether it is proliferative or non-proliferative. I think I am sure at least you are clear about non-proliferative glomerulonephritis, nephropathies rather. SLE proliferative, HIV proliferative. Be sure about your non-proliferative diseases, right? Diabetes non-proliferative. It causes sclerosis, it causes thickening, no proliferation, right? Sclerosis thickening is different from proliferation. To call it as proliferation, it have increased cells, right? Hematuria and IgA nephropathy follows how many days after URTI? 1 to 2 days. Sara, Akshara, everyone is coming up with very good answers. What gets deposited in IgA nephropathy? IgA with complement and properdin. IgA nephropathy is one disease where it fixes with some complement, but the complement levels will be normal. Serum complement levels will be normal, right? Defect in Alport syndrome? Commonly alpha 5, but alpha 3, alpha 4 can also be defective. Triad of Alport syndrome? Kidney, eye, ear. Renal, eye and ear defect. Simple test to confirm Alport syndrome, skin biopsy. GBM normal thickness? 300 to 400 nanometer. Golf ball and T, it's a radiological finding, papillary necrosis. Causes of shrunken kidneys? Chronic pyelonephritis good. Chronic glomerulonephritis good. Benign sclerosis, benign nephrosclerosis, I am sorry. Pathogenic of diabetic kidney? The feature, specific feature. That is the uniform earliest change, uniformly you can see. That is called as Kimmel-Steele-Wilson nodules. Earliest pathologic feature of diabetic kidney? Thickening of the GBM. Deposits in FSGS? Which deposits you will get to see? Immune complex, which? Either none or IgM. This pattern of 18 is caused by what pattern you are seeing? Patchy or continuous? Patchy is caused by ischemic type. Good. Parasite causing bladder carcinoma? Schistosomes is associated more often with squamous cell carcinoma. Good. Casts are formed in which part of the kidney? No, that's a UG answer. Which part of the tubule? No. Tom Haswell protein is formed in distal convoluted tubule. So, it's distal convoluted tubule or collecting duct. Yeah, just 1 minute, I will just finish. Can you just move? Let me see the screen. Yeah. Urinary features of upper urinary tract bleeding. Mean the urine deposit, which features of urine deposit will prove that the bleeding is actually from the upper renal tract. Cast, good. Dysmorphic RBCs, proteinuria. Even cola colored urine will say that the bleeding is from upper urinary tract. Cast seen in renal parenchymal damage? Finely, coarsely granular cast, good. Protein mutated in ARKD? Fibrocystin. ARKD is associated with fibrocystin, portal fibrosis and liver cyst. It affects liver. Just comment whether it is nephritic or nephrotic syndrome. Remember, no immune complex deposit or minimal immune complex deposit, non-proliferative nephrotic syndrome. And the podocytes are the predominant site of cells affected. There is immune complex deposition. When there is proliferative glomerulopathy, the picture is going to be nephritic. IgA? Nephritic. Ig is nephritic. Minimal change? Nephrotic. MPGN? MPGN and SLE can have both nephritic and nephrotic. Can I see their answers? They were coming with very good answers. I would like to see. Yeah. Which glomerular deposits IgM deposits? It's FSGS. Which glomerular disease early complement deposits? MPGN type 1, the pathogenesis is due to immune complex deposition. In MPGN type 2, the pathogenesis is C3 nephritic factor, activation of the complement system, deposition of early complements. So, it is a only condition where you will have deposition of early complement, that is C1, C4 and all early complement proteins will get deposited in MPGN type 2. Which glomerular disease no deposits? It is minimal change. The cells that are predominantly affected in FSGS, focal sclerosing glomerular sclerosis, focal segment, I am sorry. The cells which will show effacement, detachment, necrosis, hypertrophy, simplification, visceral epithelial cells. Okay. The starting event for RPGN? GBM rupture.